We will begin our introduction of our dog to the 2-on 2-off on the dog walk by doing the same sorts of exercises that we did on our flat board at the end of the dog walk. We won't be doing the whole dog walk, we'll just be working on the ramp. You can work on either side of the dog walk, but for each exercise, be sure that you work each side of the ramp so that you're working on your dog's right and on your dog's left. To begin, we can start with our backwards work on the end of the dog walk. Now this will be a little bit harder to hit the end of the dog walk if you can't get your dog to back up pretty straight. So give it a shot. If you have a hard time with getting your dog to step onto the dog walk by luring backwards, you can always just continue with the forwards work on the dog walk at the field, and at home continue to work on luring backwards and try to get your dog to lure more straight, such that you can lure your dog backwards onto the narrow end of your board at home. Then try again on the dog walk here. So to demonstrate, your spot, good girl. Don't do this with the butt boards, they'll just get in the way. Wait. You can then ask your dog to wait. Oh. Good spot. Wait. Ask your dog to wait in position. You can do all the same stuff that you did at home. Now on the dog walk. Free. Good girl. Remember, as always, when you give your release command, good girl. Your release command should not be combined with any hand or body motion cues. We want it to be completely separate. So if you're going to release while moving, start moving first, then give your release cue. If you're going to release while standing still, stand still first, then give your release cue. Same thing for if you want to do a front cross, do your entire front cross first, then give your release cue. During our initial training and proofing, we need to be very careful that we don't get sloppy or ambiguous with our dogs about what the release cue is. Girl. So one more time, the backing up. Get your spot. Yes, good girl. Wait. Here's a push. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Free. Good girl. Get your spot. Yes, good girl. And it's still a good idea to mix up your forwards work and your backwards work. Free. Good girl. Get your spot. Yes, good girl. Good job. Give her a really good one. Good girl. Yeah, good job. Whoa, she came off when she shouldn't have. Get your spot. Yes, good girl. Now this time I'll give her a wait cue. Wait. Good girl. Free. Good girl. Now if your dog will tug in position, you can back your dog into the 2-on 2-off and then play tug. As long as the dog stays in 2-on 2-off position, you continue to tug. As soon as they come out of 2-on 2-off position, you tell them to drop it, put them back in 2-on 2-off, and then play again. I'll demonstrate this with Chiquita in a moment. To do forwards work on the dog walk, we'll start without the butt boards when I'm standing right next to the 2-on 2-off position. But as soon as I start adding any distance, whether lateral or vertical, I'm going to bring my butt boards or butt guides back into this training scenario to help my dog move straight off of the dog walk and remain in a straight orientation while I do crosses or while I stand at a great distance away from her. So this will be the same as with the board, only now it's on the dog walk. I'm going to stand with my heels approximately parallel, good girl, to the edge of the dog walk. And I'm going to turn in a circle, but I'm not going to lure her, and I'm going to ask her to find her 2 on 2 off. Get your spot? Yes, good girl. When she gets it, I mark it immediately, yes, and give her treats. I'm going to release without any motion. Free. Good girl, very nice. Good girl. Get your spot? Yes, good girl. And now she's starting to associate this position with the actual dog walk. Get your spot? Yeah, very nice. Good girl. And you can always ask your dog to wait and step away and then step back. Wait. Yeah, good girl. Yes. Good girl. Free? Good. And as always, make sure you do both sides. Spot? Yes. Yes. Free? Yeah, good girl. As soon as I want to add some lateral or vertical distance, I'm going to bring the butt boards back so that my dog will move straight off of the dog walk. Here's the full dog walk. We're just going to be using one side, one ramp. You can use the butt boards or you can use the garden fencing. Set it up at the end of the dog walk, and then we will ask our dog to step in from the side here and move forward into 2 on 2 off and reward them for that. If you need to, familiarize your dog with the butt board setup before you begin your exercise. They need to be comfortable moving in and out of this confined space before you ask them to do anything complicated with the 2 on 2 off. Good girl. Spot? Good. Free? Free? Good girl. Okay, so Miga's clearly comfortable with the presence of the butt board, so now I'm going to go ahead and do my forward boards work on the end of the dog walk with the butt boards to help her come off straight. Get your spot? Yes. And as soon as possible, you can start moving around. Take a step forward, take a step back, take a step to the side. Free. Get your spot. Yes. Don't forget to do a step backwards or even 2 step backwards often. Yes. Often when you send your dog on the dog walk, particularly if they're a larger dog, they will end up ahead of you. You want them to drive forward past you into the 2 on 2 off position. Free. Get your spot. Yes. Good. Good girl. Good job. Free. Good girl. Yeah. Get your spot? Yes. Yes, good girl. Very nice. Get your spot? Get your spot. Yes, good girl. Be ready to come in really fast when they have a hard time finding their position. Mark it as soon as they find it. Free? Yes, good girl. Ready? Get your spot. Yes, good girl. Very good. Very good girl. Good. Free. Yes, good girl. Get your spot. Yes. Very nice. And to move around her. Good girl. Now as you're doing this, you should be able to praise your dog while they're in the 2-on-2 off, and your praise should not be viewed as a release. So you should be able to say, good girl, good job, you're so smart, what a clever dog. All of these things you should be able to say, and they should remain in 2-on-2 off. If they break, just put them back in their 2-on-2 off and try again. You may have to introduce verbal praise while you're standing close to your dog so that they're less likely to break, and then slowly increase the distance again. You do want to be able to praise your dog when they're in the 2-on-2 off without having them break. This is very useful when you're practicing and in competition. Good girl.